Heroin, this potentially deadly drug, is an even bigger plague on West Michigan now than ever before. In fact, the Kalamazoo County Substance Abuse Task Force has just released some very startling new statistics. In the last 3 years, the two age groups with the most fatal heroin overdoses were people in their 30s and 40s. Tonight in our special report, Hooked on Heroin, we take a look at the growing problem and the troubling trend going forward.
I knew that I liked it. The whole rush and just the feeling that went with it, it was like nothing I'd ever felt before.
It took David Foster just a few seconds to become hooked on heroin.
It's like this warm feeling that goes over your body, like nothing can stop you. Any fear, any depression, anything you've ever had, anxiety, it's all gone. You're just like, wow.
But it took him a decade to beat the addiction.
I lost absolutely everything. By the time it was done, I was homeless in Kalamazoo.
Foster hit rock bottom one day on Southwestnedge Avenue, kneeling down to scoop gasoline-tinged water out of a puddle to cook the drug.
I realized this is the worst time. You know, this has gone way too far.
But in the end, Foster lived to tell about the horrors of heroin. Nancy King's daughter did not.
I just wish I had a second chance. Maybe I might have been able to get through to her, but the drug it's thicker than blood. It's thicker than family.
21-year-old Marissa King died of a heroin overdose in January of 2012. She dealt with mental health issues all her life, but recently had seemed to improve and had re-enrolled in college. Nancy had just given her money to buy books.
I actually had talked to her that morning and transferred money to her bank account. And that's the day she died. And it was always my biggest fear. I'd give her the money that'd kill her.
Both Nancy and David have had their lives very nearly destroyed by heroin, and there are so many more like them. This powerful opiate has become a full-blown epidemic in West Michigan.
It's really made a comeback.
Local police say heroin is taking the place of prescription painkillers like OxyContin and Vicodin, far cheaper and far more potent.
The purity of the heroin that we're seeing now compared to, let's say, back in the 70s is significantly higher, more lethal.
People get used to those medications and are seeking it after they can't get that medication prescribed again.
Borges emergency room physician David Rossi says the recent resurgence of heroin abuse and overdoses is undeniable.
There's been a significant increase, perhaps a 30% increase each year.
And at the Gilmore Community Healing Center, where drug addicts come for medically assisted detox, they estimate 90% of their clients will be opiate or heroin users this year, as opposed to 63% in 2012.
We see people come in sometimes at their very worst, and then we also get to see the transformation as they get well.
Residential therapist Joyce Pine says heroin addiction is crossing over into the middle class and middle age, but usually starts with young people hooked on those prescription pain meds.
In the parking lots of both Portage High Schools in the morning, there's a whole lot of dealing going on, most likely. I'm talking to a lot more parents than I used to. Parents who are like, I don't know what to do. How do I deal with this?
And although help for heroin addiction is here, many addicts are too busy searching out the drug to fend off sickness to search out help. David Foster was one of the lucky ones. He went through rehab and he's getting a degree in social work. He's also counseling other recovering addicts and has a home and family again, a long way from hitting rock bottom on Southwestnedge.
When I came from the bottom and started working my way back up, I realized that I was pretty smart and, you know, I could do some things. And there's just so much in my life, you know, to have a full life now.
As for Nancy, she wants to save other moms from the pain she's endured at the hands of heroin.
The sooner we get to them, the better chance that they're going to have for a recovery.
And Nancy recently testified before the state Senate in favor of the Narcan bill that would allow the family and friends of heroin addicts to administer a life-saving shot that can reverse the effects of an overdose as it's happening without fear of criminal prosecution. The Senate Judiciary Committee has already approved that bill. The House will take it up tomorrow morning. To learn more about the signs of heroin addiction and treatment, there's a free program every Tuesday night at the Gilmore Community Healing Center, and you'll find more information on WWMT.com.